News, views, voices of the global Indian community. India abroad.
Today is another immigrant success. Came here, I don't know, 30, 40 years ago. Can't count. But he started in a company. He stayed with the company for 30 plus years. And now he's CEO of a Fortune 500 company. And that's one of the successes we have. And also this gentleman is not just a CEO success, but the work he does and what he does for the community is amazing. So without further ado, I want to welcome my good friend, Raj Subramaniam, CEO of FedEx.
Thank you, MR. It's great to be here. When MR calls, I come. So it's pretty straightforward for me. Congratulations, MR, Shesh. I just saw him a minute ago, for releasing this report. I think it's a very important time and very valuable as we talk about what our community continues to do, as was demonstrated very much so as Saruna was talking here, in various walks of life. So I'm just delighted that you were able to release the report, that we were able to talk about it going forward. And I was just singing your praises, Shesh. And I'm just happy to be here today. And I know every single person in this room has their unique story as they come into this country. And I'm no different. I mean, everybody has got to figure out a place to start here. And I moved here in '87. But I was very fortuitous in terms of getting a job at FedEx. I mean, it was 1991. I just got my MBA, and there were no jobs going around at that time because of recession after the war, and there were so many MBAs graduating that nobody wanted one without a green card, not one. So usually I got to my second interview and they figured out they didn't have a green card. You're gone. So I was basically no job, and I was, one day I was coming back to my apartment. My apartment mate was on the phone. He was basically saying, no, I can't do that. No. He keeps the phone on. I said, who's that? I said, that's FedEx. They're coming to campus, and they had got his resume, and they wanted to interview him, but he had decided to go back to India, so he was not taken. I said, give me the damn number. So I called, and I said, you just talked to my roommate, and he is going back, but I'm still here. Can I fax you my resume? And they said, okay. And so sure enough, I faxed my resume, and they said, okay, come for the interview. So I go to the interview, and by this time, my euphoria has come back down again, because I'm like, how many of these I've done? And so instead of going in there and saying, good morning, how are you, whatever, I said, I don't have a green card. I said, I don't want to waste your time or mine if that's going to be an issue. They look at me as if I have two horns coming out of my head and said, son, let's first figure out whether you have what it takes to do a job at FedEx, and let's worry about the paperwork. And the rest is history. So I got a job in Memphis. Now, honestly, I have no idea what Memphis was. No clue. I mean, this is before, as you said, Google and all this stuff. So I'm trying to figure it out. I didn't know a single soul. I got there and started my career at FedEx. Now, a lot of people of the Indian community have become, fantastically successful in Silicon Valley and become CEOs in different companies. But Memphis, that's a different story. So when I got there, if someone had told me in 1991 that this is a job I would be doing 33 years hence, I would have said I had a much better chance to play for the Indian cricket team. There was no way. It is not even possible. So, so I'm just grateful that the opportunities that I've got. This whole thing is about impact. And so that's what I want to talk to you all about. So just to put that in perspective, the core business of FedEx is connecting people and possibilities around the world. We are everyone talks about delivering packages, but ultimately we're connecting, customers and businesses to markets around the world. And so that actually has lifted a lot of people standards of living around the world. Secondly, we have a simple philosophy in terms of giving. And it's this: if your neighbor's house is on fire and you're the one with the fire hose, you run to help. Because usually what happens is when there's something goes wrong somewhere in the world, people have money, but they have no way of actually physically doing anything. And that's when it's like, hello, here I am. And so we create a lot of impact. I mean, there's so example after example. Any disaster, we're usually the first ones there. And I'll give you one that's closer to home. And this was in April 2021 when COVID was raging in India. People were dying, as you all remember that. And so one Saturday, actually it was on a Sunday, I was trying to figure out, we need to do something. So I picked up the phone, we started calling, mad dialing, Satya on the phone, there's Arvind and Julie, we saw a few of us, and finally said, okay, we need to put a call together. I mean, lo and behold, on Sunday at 11 o'clock, there was a Zoom call. There must be at least 60 of the Fortune 100 CEOs on the call. I was shocked. I was like, what happened? How in the world? I don't believe there's any other country that would have happened. What I realized later is that everyone's got their crown jewels in India. That's why, And so then we started talking about, okay, what's the requirement? It was oxygen, and oxygen, 1, 2, 3. And Monday was another call with the Secretary of State and that same call. So anyway, everyone's like, okay, money, this, that, and the other thing. And then the question came out, or how the hell are we going to get it there? And I was like, we have 40 flights a week into India, in and out. And so we started mobilizing, oxygen concentrators moving into India, for example. Now, we moved, and then I remember that one evening I got a call from this young woman in Dallas. She said, my father is dying in Hyderabad, and I have an oxygen concentrator in my hand. Can you get it to him? I'm like, what? Then within 12 hours, we developed a process by which you can take one of those things to our FedEx office, the retail outlet, and then we would carry it. We got 15 out of those. So, the point here being that suddenly when we mobilized, we started moving. At the end of the day, we moved more than 100,000 oxygen concentrators to India at that time.
Wow.
That's an impact. And when it really hit home for me, because I was just doing, I was not even thinking. I was just, just do it, whatever we can. I had the opportunity the next year to see Prime Minister Modi in his house in Delhi. So he asked me to come on one side. I just landed, went to his house. And so it was a one-on-one meeting and everything else. And, I was just trying to get my act in gear, so to speak. And he said, no. For the first 5 minutes, he spoke about how grateful he was and the country of India was for the work we did. And I almost was in tears because as somebody who was born in India, the Prime Minister telling you that was a moment of deep gratitude for me, and that the fact that he would remember it and talk about it. So anyway, I was just talking about the impact. Everybody in different fields, right here, a shining example here in Maryland, that, makes an impact. This is an American story. That's the other part. You all talked about it, when you talk about the civil rights and immigration and all this stuff. It's a true American story. So I'm just delighted to be part of that journey. I think there are a few of us who can pull together and do a lot of things now, but I think more importantly, There are all of us. You know, there are all of us. And I'm just going to say that the best is yet to come. Thank you very much.